Here is a list of the common mistakes that I've observed in my students writing at VCE level. The first one is to say fixer un problème. To fix in English and in French has a different meaning. In French, you cannot fixer un problème. You can résoudre un problème ou trouver une solution. But fixer most of the time in French will mean to attach. Now the second thing is to experience. In French, it is not a verb as it is in English. In French, it's a noun. Therefore, a lot of students say, for example, j'expérience des difficultés. In French, you can't experience something. J'ai des difficultés. You have difficulties. Same thing with, for example, les femmes expériences de la discrimination. No, you can't experience discrimination. Les femmes sont confrontées à la discrimination. Confrontées, we'll see that later as well. So, in French, you have the expression faire une expérience. For example, je fais une expérience de chimie, an experiment. Avoir de l'expérience, j'ai de l'expérience avec les enfants. Et faire l'expérience de quelque chose. J'ai fait l'expérience de la solitude. D'accord? But l'experience is a noun, l'expérience, not a verb. Now, to confront is quite similar in French and in English. However, there are also some differences, and you really need to be careful with to confront when you use it in your writing. So use and check in your dictionary. Les femmes confrontent le sexisme doesn't mean anything in French. Well, I do understand what you mean if you say this, but this is not correct grammatically speaking. You have to say les femmes sont confrontées au sexisme. In French, you are confronté à quelque chose. Hein? Être confronté à quelque chose. And the preposition here is really important. To attend. Alors, to attend does not mean attendre. For example, j'attends l'école à Richmond. That in French means that you're waiting for a school in Richmond, just like you're waiting for the bus. If you want to say that you go to school in Richmond, you have to say je vais à l'école à Richmond. Now, il attend une fête. Hein? Often students think, oh, he attends a party, I'm going to use attend. Vous assistez à une fête. Now, very often students use tu instead of on. In French, if you say to me, tu peux aller à la plage, I understand that you're talking directly to me. If you want to say that in general, one can go to the beach, you need to use on. D'accord? Not tu. If you say tu in French, you're talking to the person in front of you, saying you, as in you. Few things that I call lost in translation. I don't necessarily know why they exist. A lot of my students, for example, say gagner des bonnes notes. I do not understand why they say that. You can't win marks in French or in English, actually. So if you have an idea of why students might say that, please leave a comment. In French, you would say obtenir de bonnes notes. Just like, in fact, in English, you would say obtain good marks. Another thing, c'est d'accord. In English, you say it's okay. So if you agree with someone, it is fine to say oui, c'est d'accord, je viendrai demain. But when you say, oh, it's okay, as in, do you like this? Oh, yeah, it's okay. You cannot say this in French. C'est d'accord in French means I agree, nothing else. Now, these ones, in English, you say I'm hot, I'm thirsty, you're using the verb to be. In French, when we say this, we use to have. So we say j'ai chaud, j'ai soif, j'ai froid, j'ai faim. If you use être in these expressions in French, you obtain usually a very different meaning. Okay? So remember that I'm hot becomes j'ai chaud. Now, missing, I miss you. Now, in French, c'est manquer à. So we actually use the pronoun. It might be a bit long to explain to you. So if at this stage you're not quite sure, just remember this. It's the opposite way in English and in French. This is how I remembered it when I learned English. Hein? In English, you say, I miss you. In French, you're going to say, you, I miss. Tu me manques. Hein? So it's the opposite way in French. Just try to remember that if that helps. Now, le temps. In French, it is a singular. D'accord? So there's an S. Yes, at the end is an S. But it is a singular word. So you say, students often say tous les temps. Non, you say tout le temps, if you want to say all the time. J'avais des temps de libre. Non, j'avais du temps de libre. The only time where you will use temps in the plural in French, if you want to say in the olden times, dans les temps anciens. The difference between jour and journée. Le jour is a day as a sort of a unit of time or day as opposed to night. For example, il est parti pour 3 jours. Here we've got days as units of time. La journée is more the duration, so during the day. It's the duration of the time, la journée. So an example, pendant la journée, j'ai fait du sport. During the day, I've done some sport. So that's the difference between the two. And les faux amis, so as you know, a lot of words have similar meanings in French and in English. Often they're even similar, but there's also a lot of words that sound similar but that are not. Now there's plenty, so I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. My advice to you is find a list on the internet and check these words. And in general, if you have a doubt, you have a dictionary for your VCE, use it.